Good morning, everyone. I'm T. Duve, and the cover page that you can see on the screen shows the title of my recently published book, Objective English Easy to Horse. This Part 1. This book has actually two parts. This is Part 1. And at the bottom of this cover page, you can see there are some research techniques to guess coming questions. What are these research techniques? So these techniques that you can see, Framer-Park technique, Safnavia technique, Ricovia technique, Eco-Page technique, and below these techniques you can see who this book is for. So this book is written mainly for students preparing for SSC or bank PO, clerk, CAT, UPSC or International English Olympiad. If you are preparing for CTET, then it is for you. And those who have enrolled for B.Ed and want to become teachers know it very well that without having a good command over English, perhaps the profession of teaching can remain far away from them. So it is for them also. Or if you are preparing for any other competitive examination, this book is for you. Now, before I begin today's class, let me talk about these four techniques. Well, if I say that those students who are preparing for these competitive examinations can become able to guess most of the coming questions in their examinations, perhaps you will consider it as an advertisement statement. But in my coming classes, I am showing you how it is possible with the help of techniques that I have written in this book. Plus, if there is a class 6 student, how he or she can do the analysis of question paper of competitive examination, I will be showing you in my coming classes. I will be giving you training of all these techniques that will make you different. This book is available on Amazon and Flipkart both. So if you feel that there is no other book written by any other author and it is taking your thinking level to an altogether different height, I would advise you to go for these books. Now in this class, I will be beginning the first chapter of this book, that is subject and verb agreement, because I believe that if you want to learn analytical skill, then your grammar must be very good, not good, very good. Why very good? Because when you come to analyze anything, so you must be able to break a sentence into its components and frame a sentence. So in my long teaching experience, what I have observed that most students, whether they are school students or college students or those who are preparing for competitive examinations, they lack two things. Number one, they do not have sentence framing. Most of the students lack sentence framing ability. and it happens because of poor knowledge of grammar. So my first focus will be on training you how to develop your sentence framing skills, and then you start writing small paragraphs, then develop your understanding step by step. So let us begin today's class, which is subject and verb agreement, and follow the approaches that I am showing you, and you will notice difference in you in hardly 7 days to 10 days. So let me take you to today's class. This is the first page of this book, and as you can see, it is 1.1 subject and verb agreement. Let's begin with this chapter and read this rule very carefully. I go on explaining, and I will be suggesting you how you should develop your understanding. After 5 or 6 rules, I will be taking you to one practice set from where your analysis will begin. I will train you how to develop your analytical skill from the first class itself. So let us understand 5 or 6 rules first, so that you can adopt a systematic way of study. Let me explain. So this rule tells us, you know that a sentence usually contains a subject and a finite verb. If your concept of finite verb is not clear, then I will explain it. But let us read the rule first. A subject is a noun or pronoun that tells us what the sentence talks about, and a verb represents the action in the sentence. The subject and verb agreement are concurred in a sentence means that, keep this point in mind. This one, that subject and verb must agree in person and number. This part must remain clear in your mind. Then the entire chapter will automatically blossom, will automatically be clear in 4 to 5 minutes. The same thing has been explained here in the next line. The singular or plural. So when we are talking about singular or plural, we are talking about number of the subject. And when we are talking about first, second and third person pronouns, we are talking about I, we, you, he, she, it, they. So these are the concepts. Now, this is rule number 1, and let us apply analytical approach right from the start. So let us analyze each of these 4 examples. The first example reads, Ravish is eagerly waiting for his exam results. Farmers are the so-called stewards of agriculture. I am waiting anxiously to hear from them. And you have done your share of work. So in first example, the verb is in the singular. In the second, it is in the plural. In the third example, it is in the first person. And in the fourth example, it is in the second person. You can say singular because here you refers to one person. Now ask a question. And your question should be this. Your question should be, what is the person? What is the person and number of the subject? First of all, of the verb, number of the verb. So you can see here, is singular are is in the plural, am is in the first person, and have is in the second person. Now ask a question, why? And your answer will be this. It is because rubbish is a singular subject, therefore its verb is in the singular. Farmers is a plural subject, therefore the following verb is in the plural. I is in the first person, therefore the following verb is in the first person. And you is in the second person, therefore the following verb is in the second person. And this is what the concept says. In a given sentence, the subject and verb agreement means the subject and verb must agree in person and number. Hope it is very, very clear. Now, keeping this concept in mind, look at rule number 2. Again, it's very, very easy for anyone to understand. It says, some nouns ending with s, es are in the singular and are followed by a singular verb. So what is happening over here? In this list of nouns, you can see they are ending either with s or es. So because they are ending with s, es, they are generally confused to be plural. But these nouns are in the singular, and when they are used as subject of a finite verb, they are followed by a singular verb. Let us understand it with the help of the given examples. Mathematics frightens most children. So here you can see frightens is singular. Why? Because its subject mathematics is in the singular. So you should not get confused that because mathematics is ending with s, therefore it is a plural subject. No. So you need to keep this list of nouns in mind. There may be a question in your mind, are these the only nouns? No. There are some other nouns also which end with s, es, but when they are used as a subject of the verb, they are followed by a singular verb. So you can make list of such nouns on your own. Now moving on to rule number 3. Some nouns ending with s, es are plural and are followed by a plural verb. So these nouns, genes, from genes to annals. Annals actually means history or records of anything. So you will have to think how these nouns are behaving and how the nouns that you studied before these are behaving. So the nouns that are given in second rule are also ending with s, es, but are in the singular, and these nouns are also ending with s, es, but are in the plural and are followed by a plural verb. So whenever you are solving questions based on this chapter, your concept of the subject must remain very, very clean and clear. Now let us take one example. Your trousers are a little tight for you. So here are is plural only because the following subject trousers, though it is ending with s, is in the plural and therefore it is in the plural. Moving on to rule number 4. Some nouns do not end. Some nouns do not end with s, es, but are used in the plural. these nouns are these. Again, a question may be originating in your mind. Is this the only list of nouns that are ending without SES and are used in the plural? No. There may be more nouns, there are more nouns. You add your researched nouns over here. So there is always a scope for your expansion. And you should be a research-oriented candidate, whether you are a school student or a college student, or if you are preparing for any competitive examination. So you must add something to the existing list which is given in this book. Now, so just imagine when capital word is coming in a question which is not ending with S or ES, but it will be followed by a plural verb because it is plural without having S or ES with it. Now, two more rules, and then I'll take you to one practice set of this book to show how you can apply these rules on any type of question. Moving on to rule number 5. Now, look at rule number 5 and try to differentiate it from the rules that you have studied already. So here this rule says some nouns are used in the singular and plural in the same form. So here your subject becomes very, very interesting. So if you are using the noun barracks, it can be used both as singular or plural in a sentence depending on how it is being treated. Or if you are using the word headquarters, which is also ending with S, but if you are using a word like fish, or if you are using a word like deer, and the question maker has added SES, it will become grammatically wrong. But again, whether this noun has been used as a singular subject or a plural subject will be decided by the context. That is why grammar rules are not to be memorized. They are to be applied and they are to be studied in context in different types of sentences. So just after this rule number 6. Now, so let us consider a few examples over here. The barracks were surrounded by a high wall. So here you see the barracks has been used as a plural noun. But what if it is being followed by a singular verb? Again, it will become correct. So understanding grammar is not that easy, and most students make a mistake by memorizing them. Do not memorize. Understand them and learn to apply in different contexts that I am going to show. Now moving on to rule number 6. This is the last rule that we will be doing in this class, and after that from rule number 7 we will take up in another class. Now look at rule number 6. Collective nouns can be followed either by a singular or plural verb. Some important collectives. So these are collective nouns that I have given. Very good list over here. What you have to understand, that be it army or class or gang or group or majority or any other collective noun that you come across or that you read, it can be followed either by a singular or by a plural verb. For example, there is a mistake here, there should be have been. So the army has or have been withdrawn from some areas. Both the verbs would have been correct here. The audience was or were clapping for her. So this audience word can be followed either by singular or plural verbs. So it is the context that will decide whether this noun has been used as a singular or plural verb. But again, you will have to be a little more intelligent and ask a question. Is there any clue where you can know that this particular word has been, this collective noun has been used as singular and plural? Yes, I have written 2 points to clear this concept. Look at note part. It says a singular verb is used with a collective noun when we talk about it as a unit, while a plural verb is used when we see the group as individuals. Now, what does it mean? Let me help you understand with the help of these examples. Let us take this example. The whole class was punished. So here, this class, which is a collection of students, or you can say group of students, has been treated as a unit, a single unit. So when it is treated as a single unit, it will be followed by a singular verb, as you can see here. And if it is treated as a plural constituents, like if you are using the word class, suppose you are using the word class, but you are talking about students. What I mean to say, let us say that students in the class are making noise. So you are talking about students, which is plural in number. Now you do not use the word students, you are using the word class, but you want to refer to students. In that case, the verb will be plural. Let us take another example also. Our army. So if we say our army is strong and powerful, so we are talking about army as a unit, as a group. But when you are talking about army, but you want to refer to soldiers, then the following verb will be plural. For example, if you say the army are camping there, so here you are using the word army, but you are actually talking about soldiers. Therefore, a collective noun can be followed either by a singular or plural verb depending on the context. And note number 2. Again here, there is another indicator whether a collective noun has been used as a singular or plural. For example, if this collective noun is replaced with a singular pronoun like it or its, it means that collective noun has been used as a singular unit, and therefore the following verb will be singular. But if the same collective noun is replaced with a plural pronoun like they or their, it means the sentence is talking about its constituents, persons or things that are forming the group of that noun. So the following verb will be plural. For example, the union have put forward. Now here you have practice set number 1, whose difficulty level is easy, and I am showing you how you can learn to analyze questions, that also from class 1. Whether you are a school student or a college student or student preparing for competitive examination, how you can know the coming questions. That is my main aim to show you. You just follow the process that I am showing you and try to understand things. For example, in the questions given below, you have to find out errors. How you can easily do it by doing analysis. Let me show you, and then you do on your own. For example, we are going to do this error, and you have learned that in a given sentence, when you have to find out error in subject and verb agreement chapter, then verb must agree with its subject in person and number. So what should be your first approach? That is what you have to understand. Your first approach is to find out the verb, then subject, and match the person and number of the two. For example, look here. Question number 1. Hari's cattle has destroyed a lot of standing crops. So what is the verb here? Has destroyed. You know it is singular. So verb is singular. And what is subject here? Hari's cattle, which is plural. Now apply the concept. You know that a verb must agree with its subject in person and number. Here the verb is not in agreement with the subject. Therefore, the verb is wrong. It should be have. Now, you solve this question, and then you watch the video. Now look, a pair of shoes were lying in the corner of the room. So here the verb is were lying, which you can see is plural. And its subject, as you can see, a pair of shoes, which is singular. The actual subject word is pair. Now you have to see if the given verb is in agreement with the subject or not. Answer is not. Therefore, the verb is wrong. In place of were, it should be was. Now look at question number 3. It is you who is to blame for all this mess. So this sentence has two verbs. This is and this is. Here you can see its subject is it, which is singular in number. Now you have to find out subject of this verb, which is this relative pronoun who. But if you think it is correct, no, it's not correct. You have studied that a pronoun is a word that comes in place of a noun or pronoun. So it must have come for some noun pronoun. In this case, this pronoun is you. So this pronoun is actually in the second person because of you. And you know, you is in the second person, so verb should also be in the second person. So it should be are. In place of you, in place of is, it should be are. Moving on to question number 4. Many of women have complained against that rug. The verb of this sentence is have complained, which is plural in number. And its subject is women. Women is singular in number. So what is the problem here? Think about the concept. A verb must agree with its subject in person and number. So here have is wrong. In place of have, it should be has. Now, there may be a question in your mind regarding this many are. Many and many are, both are determiners. Many is followed by a plural noun plus plural verb, but many are is a correct determiner. It is followed by a singular noun, singular verb. Moving on to question number 5. Most of his valuable time go in caring for his ailing parents. So here the verb is go. And this, as you can see, is plural in number. Let's find out its subject, which is most. And most is a pronoun here. A pronoun, as you know, comes for a noun or pronoun. So here it is coming, this most is coming for valuable time. And this valuable time is an uncountable noun. So because this time is uncountable noun, this pronoun is also uncountable noun, and because it is uncountable noun, it is singular. Now check whether the verb is in agreement with subject or not. Answer is not. Therefore, it is wrong, it should be goes. Moving on to question number 6. We have already done this kind of question. Question number 3, this question. So you should not take much time for question number 6. It is I who has made all these arrangements for the party. So there are two verbs here also. It is and has made. Has, you can see, is singular. Now this who is coming for I. I is in the first person. I is in the first person. Now, verb should also be in the first person. Remember the concept that singular and plural and the first person, second person and third person pronoun determine the change in the finite verb. So this has is wrong. In place of has, it should be have. Moving on to question number 7. Either of them was present in the conference last night. Verb is was. What is subject? Either. Either is singular. Verb is also singular. So, singular subject, singular verb. There is no problem in the sentence. Moving on to question number 8. Each and every moment of life are important. Verb is are, which is plural. Now, let us check the subject. Its subject is moment. Moment is singular because it is being preceded by each and every. So, because it is singular, verb should also be singular. So, are is wrong. In place of are, it should be is. Moving on to question number 9. Both the parties are willing to work together. What is the verb? Are willing. Are willing is a plural verb and its subject is both the parties. You can see both the parties means two parties. It means it is also plural. That means plural subject, plural verb. So there is no problem here. One of his friends were involved in the theft. So your verb is were involved, which is plural in number. What is its subject? One. One is singular. Now check. Is the verb correct? No, it's not correct. It should be was. So in this way, whatever you are doing, you must apply analytical approach of grammar. And if you do your work like this only for 15 to 20 days, I guarantee you yourself will start believing that it is possible to assume, to guess most of the questions that are asked in most of the examinations, whether they are school level examinations or competitive examination, because you are breaking down each and every part of the sentence and you go on. I will be showing you not only simple questions. In each chapter there are 4 levels of questions. So I will be applying the same approach on questions of all the 4 difficulty levels.